I'm Alex McCord, and you are watching The Real Deal on thestir.com. This week we have the downfall of NeNe Leakes on the Real Housewives of Atlanta, plus catching up with Beverly Hills, and a preview of the upcoming season of New York City. Are you ready? Let's start with Atlanta, Season 6, Episode 15. Now, I know you want to know all about NeNe and Kenya, but before that, let's get to Kandi, Todd, and Mommy Dearest. Mama Joyce. Whew. Apparently, Mama Joyce offered to pay somebody to set Todd up, take him out, get him drunk, put a girl in his lap, and take pictures. How dirty is that? Now, of course, it wouldn't be the Housewives if this information came directly from Mama Joyce to Kandi. No, we got a little voicemail tag, which is reality TV strategy number 652, playing an incriminating voicemail on camera. Kandi's assistant, Carmen, got involved because she found out about Mama Joyce's plan. And then Mama Joyce called and unleashed the fury of hell on Carmen via voicemail. So naturally, Carmen played the voicemail for Kandi. We've seen this before on other shows, but you know what? It didn't bother me so much here. And I think what it was is that it was only a matter of hours. It wasn't like Jill held onto a voicemail from Bethany for months. This all happened the same day or a couple of days. In any case, I have only one thing to disagree with here. Kandi said, "I don't want to tell Todd, but I have to." Well, in the real world, she wouldn't have to. She could ignore old Mama Joyce's bile and laugh about it behind her back. But because it was filmed for reality TV, that is why she has to tell Todd. Because if she doesn't, she looks like a wimp and the storyline dies. Tell you what, I hate it that this whole scene ended with Kandi deciding to work on herself and get therapy. She is not the problem here. I received lots of comments this week claiming I was a NeNe Leakes apologist. Oh no, not at all. Let's discuss. Kenya's throwing a masquerade ball, and she thinks honoring NeNe and giving the money to her charity, Saving Our Daughters, will smooth things over. Now, behind the scenes, Kenya has to be on cloud 109 that she's getting a big, grand filmed event. That's what every housewife wants. First, you have to throw a fabulous party. Second, you have to get a majority of the cast to show up. Now, most of them bowed out, but let's forget the filler and get to NeNe. Kenya made a tactical error with NeNe. Yes, she sent evites to all the cast. Yes, you can tell when those evites have been opened. However, another one of the oldest, dirtiest tricks on reality TV is burying your head in the sand and pretending you know nothing about your enemy's events. NeNe said Kenya didn't call. Kenya didn't text. Oh, I'm sure producers called, texted, emailed, showed up at her house, sent her a car. We've discussed event attendance and power plays before, but here's the next level of that, the next layer of the onion. If you are fighting with someone and your enemy wants you to come to an event and you don't want to go, here's what you do. You ignore emails. You say, my assistant, my friend, my husband opened it, not me. You can get away with denying you know about this event as long as you avoid one thing. Don't let them film you getting a call or a text or a personal invitation to this event. If it's not on camera, you can pretend it never happened. I'll never forget Luann once wanted me to come to something, and I insisted that they film her calling me to make the invitation, because otherwise it wouldn't seem real for me to show up. I had just called her a thug in a cocktail dress. Kenya should have shown up somewhere she knew NeNe would be, or she should have conspired with producers to call NeNe while she was on camera. Now, NeNe could ignore the call, but there would still be a record of it. Because Kenya didn't cover her backside enough, NeNe steamrolled her and insisted she knew nothing about this party. Thankfully, Cynthia managed to convince NeNe to show up. NeNe did not do herself any favors by giving Kenya the cut direct. The editors get a gold star for this scene. I was dying. Kenya said that the charity teaches girls how to treat one another. And then she introduced NeNe. This is where NeNe should have remembered she was on camera, because clearly she forgot. This was NeNe's cue to accept the microphone and say, "Thank you for supporting Saving Our Daughters. Please open your wallet and give them all your money." And the end. Then she could leave. She could even cover the mic and whisper to Kenya, "I'm going to kill you later." Well, instead, NeNe's speech insulted Kenya and the guests, and worst of all, the charity. She threw the charity under the bus. You don't do that. Now, every cast member has their "I can't take this anymore, I'm done" moment. And this was Peter's. He dragged his wife Cynthia out of the party, and I'm sure a producer whispered in NeNe's ear to double back and go ask Peter why he was so upset. Peter was correct. It wasn't about Kenya or NeNe, it was about a charity. And then NeNe leaked. The floodgates opened and she unleashed on Peter. She told him, "None of these women are on my level." Well, actually, she didn't say women. She used a B word that rhymes with twitches. Wow. So, NeNe is delusional. She thinks that because she has done 2 sitcoms, she's now Whoopi Goldberg. I mean, take a seat. I've been in this business for over 20 years, way before Housewives, and success comes and it goes. One minute you're hot and you've got more job offers than you can even take a look at, and the next minute you can't even get hired to play yourself. NeNe needs to remember that Glee is in its last season. The other show was canceled, and she chose to come back to Atlanta. She needs to simmer down and play in the sandbox with all the other girls. This attitude will not get her hired by any future producers, or any other charities for that matter. Yikes. And another thing I hate in particular. No matter what city you're in, when a housewife is called out by someone else's husband for bad behavior, she pulls the man card. Why is this man getting in my face? Why is he talking to me? Why is he tweeting at me? Why? He's a man, not a housewife. He should leave me alone. We have seen it 100 times, from New York to the OC and everywhere in between. Let's not get it twisted. Peter was not menacing NeNe. He was not abusing her. He pointed out her very bad behavior. In return, she pulled out the man card. That's dirty. There's one silver lining here and one only. NeNe was so mean to Kenya that I'm hoping that everyone else will start being nicer to her. Let's hope that happens. Let's move on to Beverly Hills, shall we? It's season 4, episode 14, and I think between Brandi Glanville and Kyle Richards, we are on a race to the bottom of the ocean. Kyle has been on most viewers' bad side for quite a while, and Brandi's starting to be this season with all her controversial comments and deeds. It seems to me both of them are trying to divert the hate that they are getting onto Lisa Vanderpump. Right? Here's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that Lisa doesn't try to work things to her advantage. Of course she does. She wouldn't have a spin-off if she didn't. However, I think that Kyle gets too easily offended and makes a meal out of every little thing Lisa says. And I think Brandi feels Lisa treats her like the patient. I mean, Brandi's becoming the Sonia Morgan of Beverly Hills. Sonia has had to deal with cheating, divorce, and putting back the pieces, just like Brandi. Both have been very boozy on camera, and both have had all the other castmates concerned about them. But I don't think the way to solve this is by attacking Lisa. I think they should both give it up and concentrate on more fun targets, like Carlton. I mean, did Kyle really, truly think that Carlton possessed her computer? Ridiculous. But enough of that, because we also have a sneak preview of New York City to consider. I have to tell you, while this was airing, I was actually out with Ramona Singer and Cynthia Bailey at a fashion show. And no, we did not talk about the preview, nor my reviews of Atlanta. We talked about clothes, boys, and hats. New York City has new taglines, and Ramona's fits her perfectly. So does Sonia's. Now, that commando comment is a little random, but so is Sonia, so it fits. Aviva's line, from what I know of the upcoming season, is spectacular. And of course, we all know now, Luann has no tagline. But what about newbie Kristen? She says, and I quote, "I may not be the sharpest tool in the shed, but I'm pretty." Well, tools don't have to be pretty. They have to be functional, or else they get thrown out. We'll see what happens. I worry for Sonia, and that's even before I saw this preview. I don't even know what to say, except she thinks that this will be her best season yet, and I hope she's right, but I'm afraid she's wrong. Now, did you notice it's Harry Dubin, as in ex-husband of Aviva and ex-date of Luann, who is presenting Sonia with a ring this season in the Super Tease? Whew. I run into Harry here and there, and he is always a lot of fun, and I hope Sonia knows what she's doing. Did you notice how there were 2 swipes at Mario in this clip? First, we see him thrilled that Heather is taking all the girls away, and then he says, "The best cheaters are the ones who get away with it." Whew. Now, the news of their troubles broke several weeks ago, so Bravo would have had plenty of time to go back and edit those clips in. However, they have always liked to portray Mario as a potential rover, so those clips might have been in before. Anyway, one thing I can say for certain, people have said that New York is not going to be as dark this season, but this trailer looked mighty dark to me with all that screaming. In fact, when Beverly Hills Housewives Brandi and Yolanda joined Kristen and Carol, I found myself wondering whether Carlton was going to pop out from behind a couch. I mean, Carlton makes the Big Apple ladies look like Glinda the Good Witch. And finally, viewer questions. Stephen Dew asked, why do they film the reunion so far in advance of the end of the season? Well, Stephen, they do that in order to give themselves time to edit. They never know whether the reunion day will generate 1, 2, or 3 episodes. They need to put it together, sell ad space, and get it slotted into their programming schedule. Now, yes, the cast do see every episode that's available before the reunion tapes, but sometimes they are rough cuts. Sometimes they are only selected scenes. It always gets a bit messy. And on everyone's mind on Twitter this week, people have asked me if I would ever go back to New York. Unlikely. I prefer reporting on reality to filming it. During Fashion Week, a reporter asked me, what would it take to get you back? And I said, blackmail. Now, that's not an invitation for anyone to blackmail me, so simmer down. Let me know what you thought in the comments. I haven't forgotten Mob Wives. I'll get back to that next week. For now, I am Alex McCord. You are watching The Real Deal on thestir.com. See you next time.